Well. Would you look at that? Would you guys look at that? The title race is on, guys. Title race is on. You know, I've always said this, right? If Inter Milan wins the Scudetto, I will look at them as one of the weakest teams to ever win the Serie A in recent years. I will be honest with you guys. I cannot lie to you guys, bro. Obviously, Napoli is the defending champions and they are not competing for the title race, right? It's between the Milan. It's between the Milan derby, between the Milan teams. Inter Milan going up against AC Milan trying to fight for who gets to win the Scudetto, who gets to be champions of Italy. Before this game, Inter Milan was 10 points ahead of AC Milan. The last time they lost was in November. And guess who they lost to back in November? AC Milan. So I want you guys to try to understand where I'm coming from. The last time Inter Milan lost to, the last team they lost to in the Serie A was AC Milan with Pulisic winning the game 1-0, scoring the goal, winning AC Milan 1-0. Now, if you're Inter Milan, you're looking like we I want to get my get back, right? You would expect Inter Milan to try to get the get back. Yes, this time they're away. They lost at home, even though they're playing the same stadium, but y'all know how it is with these Milan teams. They all share the fucking stadium. But in this aspect, AC Milan would be home. Inter Milan was so disappointing this game, especially when it came to them trying to finish up. When it came to the finishing, they were so disappointing. If you want to tell me what stopped Inter Milan from walking away with a point or possibly with the 3 points, it was the fact that they did not have no one that could finish for them. They had no finishers in this game. And AC Milan, who is, if you go on record, if you go by the numbers, by the stats, AC Milan is the best defensive team in the league right now. Last season, they conceded 40 goals. Allegri came in, tying up the defense, fix up the defense. Now AC Milan have conceded half of that, about 20 goals. So shout out to Allegri for his defensive performance because the defensive performance I saw from AC Milan was amazing. Now the lineups was very it was not surprising to me. Is who I expected to see in AC Milan. I expect to see the lineups, right? A 3-5-2 formation with Pulisic and Rafael leading the team. And in Inter Milan, we also saw a 3-5-2 formation, except instead of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram to lead Inter Milan, we did not see those two because those two guys was out with an injury. Martinez was out with a calf injury, and he's been out for a decent amount of games. And Marcus Thuram was out with a fever, so he was not fit. So neither of them was fit to play. So it was two young guys who led the attack for Inter Milan, Angie Boni and Francesco Esposito. Now, if you look at this guy, these guys are very young. Boni is about 20 years old, and Esposito is about like 23 years old. So these are young kids. These are young guys who don't have much playing time and they don't have much chemistry between each other and the team. So now you expect the veterans to find a way to score the goals or put them in situations in open spaces that will allow them to score or do some damage. Unfortunately, they were quiet throughout the whole game. Even though they played the whole 90 minutes, they were very quiet. There's nothing much that they could do. And yet, despite that, I look at it as Inter Milan starting the game very, very good. They started out very strong. They were pressing. They were dominating. They took control of the midfield, took control of the flanks of the wings. But then, from the 30th minute on, from 30 minutes on to the rest of the first half, AC Milan was growing into the game. They were growing into the game. They tightened up the defense. They made sure not to leave those open spaces that Inter Milan was taking advantage of. And then the next thing you know, look, AC Milan was looking like the better team in the first half, around the 30 minutes to 45 minutes into the game. And I have to tell you, Luka Modric was fantastic this game. He was amazing. The way he was making those forward passes into the final third of the position, into the final third for Pulisic and Rafael to try to score was really nice. I enjoyed what I saw from Luka Modric, bro. I'm watching a 40-year-old man like just play like he's back in his prime. I'm like, is this the Modric? Like, how like is Modric 28 years old? This guy is 40 and he's playing like he's 28 years old, man. Defensively, he's locked in. Midfield, he's sliding, slipping and sliding behind the pressing of Inter Milan players, making those amazing forward passes, progressing the ball, dribbling the ball forward. He had about almost 10 passes into the final third, and guess what? It was just amazing from what I saw. Now, before Inter Milan scored, I want you guys to understand that before AC Milan scored, Inter Milan had a chance to score. Mkhitaryan inside the box got past a player 1v1 with Mike Maignan, AC Milan goalie Mike Maignan, and yet this brother could not score. Mkhitaryan has the technical skills to pass the ball, but he does not have the technical skills to shoot the fucking ball inside the net. Especially when you have two young strikers who are going to struggle because there's a lack of chemistry and they don't have that much playing time. So you, a 40-year-old veteran, should take it upon yourself to know how to shoot the ball. You were inside the box and he shot it right at Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan was able to punch the ball out. And then a minute later, Luka Modric gets the ball, gives the ball to Fofana. Fofana makes a beautiful full ball pass, a beautiful line-breaking pass to the wing back Estupiñán, and Estupiñán went in and shot the ball in. Beautiful goal. Now AC Milan is one goal up. And I've always said this about anyone that's going up against AC Milan, right? You cannot let AC Milan score first. Because if you let them score first, you are in a lot of trouble. You are in a lot of trouble. Would you believe I tell you guys that AC Milan have only conceded one goal after the 80th minute? Would you guys believe that? Can you guys believe that? AC Milan have only conceded one goal after the 80th minute. After 80 minutes of the game, of in 90 minutes, they've only conceded one goal. AC Milan has the best defense in the league if you go by goals conceded. The fewest goals conceded. So now Inter Milan don't have the two best strikers, the two best finishers, and you allowed AC Milan to score first. Now AC Milan can be in a low block situation. They can play a deep block, a low block, pack the bus, however you want to name it, and they'll do their best to make sure that they hang on to that one goal because we know that's how Allegri is. Allegri's side, we know how that's Allegri plays football, bro. You're not seeing AC Milan scoring 3 goals, scoring 4 goals, scoring 5 goals. That's rarely gonna happen. If that happens, that is once in a blue moon. It's like a full moon when you're gonna see a werewolf transforming type shit. Because that's the only time you're gonna see AC Milan trying to score 3 goals. And Inter Milan shot themselves in the foot, but when Mkhitaryan did not take that chance. And then a minute later, AC Milan scored, punishing them for not being able to score that chance that Mkhitaryan had. And all what AC Milan had to do was just hold on. And they held on so good. They held on so tight. Second half began. Inter Milan came out rushing, dominating like they used to, having the wing backs. They made a whole lot of subs. Denzel Dumfries came in. Carlos Augusto came in. David Fateschi came in. And they still couldn't do nothing. They still couldn't find a way to break open this defense. But they had another chance where Inter Milan did. Another chance that Inter Milan had to equalize the game. DiMarco. DiMarco has been the most, to me, DiMarco has been the most outstanding player in Inter Milan. 10 goals in the past 12, 15 games, I believe. So DeMarco had a chance to score and he just skied it over. He was inside the box. I don't understand how Inter Milan are inside the box and yet they're not able to finish. Because 9 times out of 10, I expect these guys to shoot the ball and score a goal. 9 times out of 10. It's just that at that moment, they missed it. DeMarco had a chance to score and he skied it over the bar. Second half, early into the second half. And I kept saying, like, yo, Inter Milan don't need to score a second goal. They are fine absorbing this pressure and hitting you on the counter. They have Pulisic who can dribble, who barely loses the ball. They have Rafael who can come at you with pace and dribbling. So Inter Milan has to do what they have to do to make sure that they are 13 points or at least 11 points ahead of AC Milan. And they failed to do that. I think Rafael did not play good. I think Pulisic played better than Rafael, in my opinion, because Pulisic did a good job holding on to the ball in the first half. He did not get a lot of opportunities to shoot the ball, but he did a good job. Estupiñán was fantastic. Defensively, he was amazing. Attacking wise, he scored that winning. He scored that goal that secured AC Milan the 3 points to make the title race open. He was amazing. Rabiot, solid. I have to give a shout out to Fikayo Tomori. Tomori was amazing, bro. He was able to, he had to go up against DeMarco. He had to go up against Zelensky, Esposito, Bastoni, and he did a good job. Mike Mannion, amazing saves, man. The way he was able to stop Mkhitaryan from scoring that goal, which would have changed the tide of the game, which would have not created the opportunity. Mike Maignan saving Mkhitaryan shot allowed AC Milan to score that goal. I know that everyone's going to focus on the goal score, Estupinian scoring, but people have to watch the highlights. Watch the highlights. Watch that moment when Mkhitaryan missed that chance. It's never looking good for Inter Milan. Inter Milan they don't play well when they're going up against a big team in Serie A, which is really, really sad to see. But anyway, what can I say? I know that everyone is going to talk about the fact that AC Milan had a corner kick late into the game, and they were able to score off a corner kick. But prior to that corner kick being scored and AC Milan and Inter Milan scoring that goal, the referee blew the whistle already because there was like tussling going inside the box. So even when Inter Milan scored that goal, it does not count because the referee had already blown a whistle. So there's nothing much to talk about there because I know Inter Milan and the players and the coach is going to be talking about that moment, but that moment doesn't matter because everyone can hear it. Even I could hear it in front of my TV. Inter Milan, the referee blew a whistle before Inter Milan scored off of that corner kick. So it went back to 1-0. So shout out to AC Milan right now. Inter Milan has they have Atalanta, who is a very, very tough team. They're in the Champions League. And AC Milan, I believe they have Lazio, who they can easily beat. So AC Milan could put the pressure on Inter Milan. Right now, Inter Milan is 7 points ahead of AC Milan. So let's see how this go, man. I think the title race is open, even though 7 points 7 points in less than 10 games. Let's see how it goes. But honestly, I still have hope that AC Milan can win because Inter Milan is a sorry ass team. All right, guys, you guys tell me what you guys think about this game, and we will be back. I will come back. We will have to talk about the Champions League midweek. You know, a whole lot of good games is happening. A lot of fun, intense games to watch and enjoy. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.